Okay, here we go. Good morning.
Good morning.
So today we have a topic of what do we need for launching Operately Cloud or SaaS. Um, yeah, I mean, frankly, I have not done as much preparation as I hoped prior to the call. But yeah, we can start, and then I have some ideas, but I'm just not sure if I'm forgetting something maybe. But as we discussed, we may just, yeah, as usual, push each other towards covering everything. So,
Well, to be frank, my motivation why I wanted to have this discussion today is I'm planning out what to do in November. Like, where should my primary focus be? And I have 4 different areas. One of which is okay, we want to launch SaaS. What are the bottlenecks? What are the leftover work there? The other thing is, let's say, draft goals, draft projects, draft everything that would make things easier in operating. The third is improving visually what we have with, let's say, the new space page, the new homepage, the new goal tree page. And yeah, I want to see how the launch of SaaS combines with those things. I think the launch of SaaS is probably the most important or the most interesting thing that we can do.
for sure. Well, yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt. Yeah, just
That was it from on my side.
yeah, I mean, for context, there is a lot. I don't see launch as a single event. So I think both what you and I have would be more categorized, I think, as a soft launch. So we if we kind of zoom out a lot, like what are some like key things missing from Operately today that I could really go very proud to my mom and say, look, we are finally fulfilling the initial vision of, let's say replacing somebody's, salad of project management tool with spreadsheets and documents and whatever. We are generally not quite happy with the state of like task management in projects, and this is not a surprise or anything. What we have today is pretty much like the very first kind of alpha take, just to open up the subject more or less, and to get a feeling. What really needs to be done. So with that being said, like I kind of see us doing some, let's say, promotion after this soft launch, but not like I wouldn't like do like a show Hacker News thing or stuff like that at all. Just maybe get listed on some directories, maybe things along those lines. But in general, I mean, today we also get a little bit of traffic to the website, and so the idea is, okay, stop being this like top secret thing that you cannot access, or maybe you can only self-host. But I think majority in the beginning, like the early adopters will have a much a huge preference for SaaS over self-hosting. I think self-hosting it's super important. Like it was super important that we get it right, start practicing from day one. But I think we always saw that as a thing for a later stage once we have some initial traction, and then um, yeah, eventually some companies who are very security. I was gonna say conscious, but not really, conscious for because they're of certain size and they have certain obligations. So um, yeah, scale ups, let's say, who have strict conditions, and for them, self hosting will be, I think, interesting. Until then, again, going back to our soft launch thing, I think the primary objective is to see what's the goal of SaaS is to serve somebody who comes from the internet and decides to sign up on their own. So compared to what we already have in the application, what has been packaged in the self-hosted releases, I think we miss the parts that are related to self-served onboarding, um, getting in touch with us, and also us communicating to these users and having some visibility into what they're doing. So yeah, the things that I've had in mind that are that would be we could say are requirements for the SaaS launch are in that category. To give maybe just an example, just to because I've been saying a lot of abstract things. You should have like a help menu in the application. You should have a way to contact, get some kind of support. Um, you should get at least one welcome email to know what are some points of reference, some points of contact, what can you expect, stuff like that. We may not want to do like a 50-page manual, but not having even a written guided tour to show some one or two happy paths, it would kind of suck, I think. So there are a few areas where we can start building with something which will eventually be like a fully fledged, very mature resource, but for now, appropriate for the early stage.
Last time we talked, I think we ended up with a very good idea. And that was, let's map out all the things that we could say that we have a complete SaaS package. And when we have the map of that area, then we can find the optimal path, what to cover first, what to cover in the, second iteration, third iteration. So one way to tackle this is to maybe just go completely graphical in Whimsical.
Mm.
And like, okay, the first area is just putting out boxes. What are the areas that we want to cover? And then breaking them down, figuring out what is clear, what is not clear.
Yes, I mean, I kind of, I imagine myself doing um, like a multi-tiered sort of mind maps or something in Whimsical. Like stage one would be this set of things, and stage two would be further evolution. So you want to like start that now live, or
Probably not. uh, I I mean, brainstorming is good, but I like to start with let's say thoughts through document, and then we can brainstorm. But if we approach this as a, let's say, project, but it is a project, I don't even need to use quotes, then the best next step would be maybe to kick off that project, to put some, milestones in it, or basically to kick off the whole process. And then let's say either you or me do the initial version of that map. I think it's better suited for you. And then we meet, in a couple of days, maybe even next week, and discuss that map, discuss what we can do.
Yeah, makes sense. I think we'll see, but I think we will be able to meet this week. Um, do you see any area? Do you see any areas that I have not mentioned in the most broad strokes?
Well, if I zoom out completely, those areas usually map to areas of work. So support needs to be covered. Then let's say customer success in some way, which probably boils down to having an admin interface or some notifications when people sign up so we can help them out. Then there is documentation work. There is marketing work to some degree. And finally, product work, which is, I would say, the most clear, because it boils down to, I think, some onboarding wizards and a help menu.
Is there anything worth kind of significant size in terms of work that this would be a point where we start introducing code which is relevant for SaaS but not relevant and should not be visible, and some of it will not be relevant to self-hosted. Is there any complexity there that's gonna hit us?
Well, on that front, I only have like ideas, and the prime idea is to not put any code related to the admin interface into Operately.
Mm.
We have a, let's say, rich API. So far, maybe it is not fully rich, but we can extend it to support it, and then run a completely different application for the admin interface.
Cool.
Or a module, maybe that's a middle ground. We don't need to go full service-based.
Okay, so we are kicking off a project about discovering requirements for the SaaS launch. And I think we want very detailed, very clear, let's call it a list, but whatever it will be. We should have like a ticket level clarity for this kind of the first soft launch thing. We should have also comparable clarity of what would go on at, like, one day later in terms of some promotion, marketing work, and we should have some understanding of what we should have a picture of what the next phase will be. Again, both in terms of internal work and marketing work. Um, yeah, it will be expressed in some ways. I mean, there will be things like, okay, for the soft launch, we will introduce like a help documentation, and then that becomes a living and breathing entity, which we continuously improve until the end of the world. So, yeah.
Probably on this last thing. So some of the outcomes will be like very specific tickets that we need to do to reach the first level. But also there will be a set of processes that we kick off that are continuously living.
Yeah.
Mostly, I mean, definitely support and documentation. And marketing is already a process that is ticking. So that needs extending.
Mm. Okay. We'll have that project today and take it from there.
I'm thinking, should we discuss something else, or is that it?
I think that's it. I'm really kind of excited to just jump on this, and it's been kind of boiling in my head for a while. So cool.
In that case, see you next time.
Yeah, see you.